Today was definitely a day to forget, but the problem is far from gone. Today on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Boney. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen of the day from the Bay Area. Diehard A's fan since '81. This isn't just another A's podcast. This is the most informative and insightful show on the A's, period. We cover the A's every single day, breaking down games, delivering the latest team news, and giving you deep, thoughtful analysis you will not find anywhere else. If it's happening in Sacramento or in Las Vegas, we got you covered. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button wherever you are following the show. Stick around. This is Locked On A's. We don't recap wins or losses. We celebrate the fight. And unfortunately, today was not much of a fight, right? Let me make one thing clear, guys. So this is something I've been harping on and talking about for quite some time as far as the A's toughness and togetherness. This isn't about today's game at all. You're gonna, and I've stated on many occasions, I don't care if the A's win or lose. I care that they're out there, that they play together, that they play tough, that they compete. And they haven't done that on several occasions. And I talked about this back when they played Seattle in Seattle on Sunday, when JJ Bleday and Lawrence Butler almost collided in the outfield. Now, that's a baseball play. That's going to happen, right? No big deal. What bothered me about that play, and I said it at the time, and this is for me where it started kind of building, was there was no communication. There was no tap of the glove as far as, hey, I got you, or that sort of thing. What teammates do. And Butler, same game, struck out, threw his bat on the ground in frustration. They're not running ground outs out. He did that today. He jogged out a ground ball in his, I believe it was his first at bat. When you're doing things like that, you're telling your teammates that you don't care. You think only about yourself. I saw many occasions where Miguel Andujar in left field, there would be a shot within the gap to the outfield off the wall, and he kind of lollygags after the ball, goes after it real slow. Is that going to have any impact on the play? No, it's not about that. It's not about the actual impact on the play. It's going to be a double regardless. But showing that sense of urgency gives a feeling, and it shows your teammates and everyone around you, and it shows the people that are watching that you care, that you're with them, that you're together. And right now, there's none of that. So today wasn't about just losing 14-1. 4 more errors today. I talked about it on Friday. Again, we lost 5-3 on Friday. That's fine. And I've said this Milwaukee Brewers team is a very, 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 very good team. I've talked about body language, talked about throwing the ball around like it's not important. Butler missed his cutoff man on Friday for an error which led to runs. I talked earlier today. I had a topic about this whole road trip. Andujar and Wilson almost colliding on plays. That happened numerous times. And again, this is baseball. That's going to happen. Happens in almost every game. But what you see from other teams is acknowledgement, is a point, is communication. There wasn't any of that. The camera flashes Severino, glove on his thing, shaking his head like he's pissed off at somebody. It looked like he was pissed off at Wilson, just for the reason being that is Andujar's play coming in. But it's happened numerous times. And for that not to get acknowledged in any sense is unreal. And that's what's pissing me off. That's what's really bothering me about this team. And that's why if I'm questioning if they're tough enough. This team is more talented than I thought. Okay? I did not expect Soderstrom to be this good, and I didn't expect Wilson to be this good. And we're going to have off days, and we're going to have tough outings like we did. That's going to happen. That happens in any sport and anything we do. But to not have that togetherness, to not have any type of toughness or fortitude, to have the body language we constantly have, not to hustle, not to play hard, that goes past baseball. That goes past stuff on the field. And now we're looking at a deeper problem. To be complaining about the ballpark we're playing in. And that's what's really, really, really pissing me off about this squad, man. It has nothing to do with today. Yeah, Springs was off. He walked a ton. They stole all sorts of bases. Sure. The A's are trying to build some sort of culture right now. Which gets me to my next point, which is the commentators, Dallas Braden and Jenny Camvar. And I hate criticizing. I really do. And for as much as they make mistakes. Who doesn't, right? They try super hard. All announcers make mistakes. But this organization right now is being laughed at in the entire country and is not taken seriously, which bugs me as a lifelong fan. And if you told people that the A's have made the playoffs the 7th most times out of anybody in Major League Baseball over since 2000, they wouldn't believe you. They have been one of the most successful franchises ever. And they're sitting there, Jenny and Dallas are laughing when we're getting blown out 9-1 without addressing any issue that's going on with the team. Not once did they address the issue in communication from Butler and Andahar on that play, how it has happened over and over and over. Errors they have, but another 4 today, it goes deeper than just that. There is a carelessness about this team. There is a toughness that lacks with this team. They do not compete. When things get down, they fold tent. They fold up tent. Sorry, I'm rattled. And until things get addressed, we cannot do one of the most important things any organization needs to do, and that's build culture. And that starts with everybody in the organization, including the announcers. And if you're going to laugh and make jokes without addressing any issues, it compounds the problem that already exists, which this organization and this team is looked at as a joke. If we want to fix culture, it takes everybody within the organization. You know why I love Mike Krukow? I'll tell you why I love Mike Krukow. Mike Krukow last year was on an interview or announcing during one of the games. And this was the point when Camilo Doval, the closer for the Giants, didn't want to come in. Or he had a problem with his role taking away from him because he blowed a number of saves, something to that point. And Mike Krukow said, hey, Doval needs to grow up. He told the positives about Doval, what kind of kid he was, how good he was. But at the end of the day, Krukow said he needs to grow up. He called it how it is. Braden doesn't do that and won't do that. And that pisses me off. And if you're not going to do that, fine. All right, I get it. If you're not going to truly call it how it is, okay. I get it. You have a relationship with these guys, and that will probably, being critical of them will probably affect that relationship. That's fine. But if you're not going to call it how it is, truly how it is, then you can't be laughing and joking like a couple kindergartners in the announcing booth. I was pissed off today, guys. I think it goes, Rick, I think it goes past the players, man. I think it goes past the players, past the play on the field. We're not good enough to win on talent alone. I think we're going to win our games, right? I think right now, the way it looks, we're going to be something like 77 and 85, which people are like, hey, this is a successful team. This is great. I mean, that's fine. I think this is a playoff team. The way it's set up right now, if they had some toughness, if they had some competitiveness, things are going to come together, so forth. We're going to win games just based on talent alone. We are extremely, extremely talented. But we're not tough, man. We're not a tough team. And once we gave up, what was it, 4 runs, whatever it was in the first inning, you could see the body language. It was done. The game was over, man. And if we're going to change culture and who we are as an organization, it needs to start with everybody. And right now, we're not it, man. We're not it at all. So I don't know. What's going on? And Andres, yeah, I mean, 100%. When you're talking about culture and building culture, it starts within the locker room, no question. It starts with everybody in the organization and how the franchise is looked at, right? But when you're talking about a team you're right. It starts 100% with the leader and Katse. And it's early, right? And who knows what's going on within closed doors, within he has to be addressing it. Because Katse was a hard-nosed player. Seemed like he's a hard-nosed manager. I love Katse. I'm glad he's there. But what you're saying is 100% right. And I hope that meeting is happening, has happened, will happen. Because the crap Butler's pulling is nothing new. And he did this first half last year. Andahar, same thing, man. And I love Andahar. I mean, I was raved about him. This is not about the play on the field. They are great players. But there is more. In order to succeed and in order to win at the highest level, being a great player needs to be a given. Being a great player puts you in a position. Being cohesive, being together, caring about that next person next to you is what separates you from the next team. Do you really think Milwaukee, on paper, is a better team than us? On paper, I'm talking about. But they're way better. They're way better as a cohesive unit. They get after that Milwaukee team. You talk about tough and gritty. Josh, happy Easter to you too, man. Listen, at the same time, we got to keep things in perspective, right? It is baseball. But if we're going to spend 2.5, 3 hours watching a game, you don't have to win, but you got to try. And when the game's done, and then when the pre-game's done, and the post-game's done, life goes on. Let's keep things in perspective. This is baseball. This is sports. But while it's happening, if I'm going to care, if you're going to care watching the game for 2.5, 3 hours, the people announcing the game and the people playing have to care as well. And I'm sure they do. And I'm sure they all do. But you better show it a lot better than you have. Because what Canvar and Braden were doing was a joke today. They've had tough announcements, tough times in the past, and I know they receive a lot of criticism, but today was a joke. Today was a joke. I mean, I was pissed off at 9-1. I mean, you want to start making jokes at 14-1 in the 8th inning? Fine. Josh, yeah, he is, man. I mean, here's the issue with Springer, right? In 2022 with the Rays, he was one of the best left-handers in all of the American League. He had Tommy John surgery. The problem is you don't know how pitchers are going to respond when they have Tommy John surgery. In that year, his fastball was around 92, 93, 94-ish. But his out pitch, his go-to pitch is his changeup, right? Well, his velocity has dropped considerably since Tommy John. He's around 90, 91 right now, 92 maybe. And while that only seems like a couple miles per hour slower, when your out pitch and your strikeout pitch is your changeup, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So, and he hasn't been throwing strikes. At all. And I said at pregame today, I go, if Springs doesn't throw strikes, we're going to be in trouble. And like I said, this Milwaukee team is stacked. They're a good team as far as speed, as far as togetherness. And the guy who they pitched today is a 4th round pick. He's the 12th prospect in Milwaukee's system. It looks like he's going to hit the DL, Josh. He left the game today and he got hurt. So we don't fight in at bats. And I get we're an aggressive swinging team. 4 more errors today, though, guys. 4 more errors, man. Silly ones, too. Silly ones. Just stupid. 4 more errors. We lead all of baseball. Yeah. And like I said, it's all the off-field stuff is still there. It's been a tough year so far, man. I tell you, it's been a tough year. And I think those within the organization are not helping it either, man. You don't bring politics into sports. And that's what happened with this organization. Politics got brought into sports. You don't do that. The golden rule. You don't bring politics into sports. And they'll say, well, no, Fisher brought politics into sports. Manfred brought politics. No, they didn't. MLB and the A's is not a public organization. A baseball team is not a community outreach program. Manfred is not a publicly elected official, nor is Fisher. They're businessmen. And they're looking, and Fisher's looking to make every buck possible he can. Can you call him selfish? And do I support most of what he's done? No, 100% not. The bottom line is it's his team. He paid for it. Whether you agree with how he got it done or what he's done, that's up to you. And Manfred works for the owners. He's a CEO of a company that works for the board of directors, also known as the owners. And his job is to do what the owners want. And he's paid handsomely. So you call it what you want to call it on that. But yeah. Today was rough. So that's kind of pissing me off as well. Do I think Fisher's brought a lot on himself? Yeah. I mean, not taking Sacramento's name was a joke. Stupid. I mean, I'm dreading going back home. But to your point, Andres, maybe that team meeting will happen this weekend. We see an inspired team against the Rangers on Tuesday. We see a tougher team. We'll see. You'll know if they had that based on Lawrence Butler's body language. You'll know if that happened if he's running out ground balls. You will know if that happened if there's communication when two players are about to collide on a fly ball, which happens all the time. I have no issue with that. That happens all the time. In every single game, every day, we will see something like that. The difference is the communication and what happens after the play is done that the A's are not doing, that they have not done. That's different. That's making them different from other teams. And that's what's bothersome right now. So we will know if that happened. And I get it's just a bad day. I get it. I just think, and I've said it for weeks, I think it stems deeper than that. I think it stems deeper than just one game. I said that on this morning after yesterday's win. I said that after the Seattle series. You could see this stuff coming. I said it with Butler's comments about playing in Sacramento and Severino's comments about playing in Sacramento. And that's why the whole point to this is like it's a team. This isn't a team right now. It's a talent show because we have the talent and they're showing it off. They're extremely talented. Fun to watch from top to bottom. But we're not a team. We're not close to it right now. And if you're not a team, you better have a whole lot of talent in order to win. And we don't have enough talent to win on talent alone. And that's the problem. Hey, look at the Dodgers and all the talent they had. They won one World Series. They won last year. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see on Tuesday. We will see on Tuesday what kind of team shows up. Again, 14-1. This isn't the first time we're going to get blown out like this year. It's going to happen to every single major league team multiple times. It happens. It's 162 games. That's fine. My concern is how we have been communicating with each other and how this team needs to find some sort of identity. What was fun about last year's team was the energy they played with. And what makes being an A's fan so cool, how I relate to being an A's fan, is that the A's as a franchise, through all its hard times they've had with regard to ownership and spending money and how screwed up they are, makes it so special and easy to relate to. And here's what I mean. How many times have us as individuals or any people in life been told no, been told that they're not good enough, been told they can't do this or they can't do that? How many times have we not gotten a job we think we should have gotten? A lot. And that's what's special about the A's, because a group of guys that have been told the same thing come together and like, hey, we are good enough. And they played with that chip on their shoulder and they played together and they played tough. There was no team, no matter how bad the A's were, that were tougher than the A's. And we are just soft as Charmin right now, man. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're 100% right, Rick. It doesn't happen anymore, man. So you got to remember on 2 points, sir. Like, I agree with what you're saying. I think what you're saying in that statement right there is 100%, Serchi. You had you know what's crazy about the whole Oakland thing, though? Is that the person leading the negotiations has been indicted by the FBI on crimes and removed as mayor. So you got to also remember that during that time when that was happening, remember, where do most of the Oakland A's fans come from? Right? The East Bay, right? Danville, Pleasanton, San Ramon, Alamo. Alamo's a small town. I don't even know why I use that. Affluent neighborhoods, right? Not a whole lot of the fans that go to the A's games actually live in Oakland. They're from the East Bay, mostly affluent neighborhoods. The actual city of Oakland, when they were polled, if they wanted a new stadium, they didn't want one. So the mayor had a lot of things to go through. She comes in, and what's the first thing she does? She gets rid of the police chief. Next thing you know, she's up for they want her recalled, which had nothing to do with the A's. The citizens had a lot more to worry about than a darn stadium. So she had to maneuver a lot, right? She's trying to save face in the public by calling everything out, yet it wasn't really to her best interest. And yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there. The media did not do anybody any favors in this whole thing. They riled everybody up. Hey, listen, and I have me personally, I was fooled. I was on that side for months. For months, I was on that side. I was part of that narrative until I started looking. I'm like, wait, there's only one narrative being told here. There's never been anything I've ever seen that has opposing sides. And then you look into it, and then you look into Senate Bill 289 Skinner. Then you see the subsidy that was miscalculated by 4.1 billion that no one talks about. That's another thing, man, Jason. Yeah, as far as baseball on the field, you know how many stolen bases they got as a squad this year? Take a guess, Jason. Do you know? Take a guess. Don't look. I'll give you over/under is 7. Over/under, Jason, stolen bases this year. 7. 5. 4 by Butler and 1 by Bleday. 4 by Butler and 1 by Bleday. It's crazy. Crazy. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I'm with you, man. Yeah, 5 stolen bases. Let me ask this, Sir Chi. I mean, at the same time, it's like, okay, so let's take this type of situation, right? Let's say we're wrong. Let's say it didn't happen. Let's say it was 1,000% on Fisher, which it wasn't. Okay. It was 1,000% on Fisher. Let's just take that narrative for a second. Isn't there enough information there, though, where people from both sides can have a conversation? Casey Pratt, Brody Brazil, have you ever seen anybody on their show from an opposing side? And that's why I get pissed about it, is because I felt like they fooled me. They tricked me because I was on that side for years. I trusted them. I don't think the truth matters anymore, Chi. I don't think it matters anymore. I think media as a whole is struggling to make a dollar. And I think John Fisher is a perfect villain. And I think since the beginning of time, it's been poor versus rich. In society, we've been trained to hate the rich individual because of what they have and what one person doesn't have. I'm not saying I'm with that, but I'm just saying that's what it is, right? And I don't think even if compelling evidence would come out, that, hey, it was 1,000% on the city, that it would change people's view or opinion much. Yeah. 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 Um, Let me ask you something though, sir. Here's a good. I've always tried to put myself in a perspective. If you were on the other side, right? If you were on the media side, let's just say you answer this question for me. Be honest now. If you were on that side where putting food on the table was defined by the size of your audience, and the size of your audience as you knew it was to bash Fisher and take the narrative that we know as false, would you take that narrative? Would you sacrifice your values or what you believe? I wouldn't even say maybe values to do your job or to maximize your income or revenue. But Butler isn't anything special in the outfield either, Jay. Butler's nothing special in the outfield either. Butler's nothing. Butler is shaky as can be as a defensive outfielder. But did you see that play though? What was it in the first inning? The fly ball to center field. Do you know what I'm talking about, right? I forget it was the first inning or not. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And Blade kind of let up. He didn't go full out for that ball. He felt the wall and he kind of showed off. Now, it would have been a hell of a play if he would have made it. But a lot of major big leaguers make that play. Do you know what play I'm talking about, Jay? He didn't sell out for that. The play in center field. Yeah. Yeah, I hope so too. We'll see. I don't know, Jay. I don't think Butler has had a number of plays also. He missed the cutoff man on Friday badly. He's had situations where a player's tagging up from second to third, catching it flat-footed and just throwing it. He's not a good outfielder. Butler is not a good out. But this is how it's been for the A's. Defensively, we were the worst in baseball last year. This year, we're the worst in baseball. The difference this year, we're just making it in more careless ways. And that's what's going on, man. And unfortunately, that's what's going on with the defensively. But we're just making it in stupid ways, man. We're making it in stupid ways. Blade led up on that ball in center field. I think that was the first inning. I forgot who hit it. And then it just turned into a mess, man. It turned into a mess after that. So I don't know, man. It's rough right now being an A's fan, not because of the team, because of the culture. And the culture starts from everybody in the organization. And it's not an A's team that I'm familiar with. That's for sure. Yeah. I mean, I 100% agree. I mean, the Oakland has proven time in and time out that they can't get things done with regard to building something. I don't think they wanted to either. At the end of the day, what pisses me off, guys, is the reaction we're getting from fans and how all the attention from media and fans is still off the field. The one thing that's sacred about sports, guys, is that it brings people together, right? And this has been the furthest from the situation with the A's. A lot of people need sports just for therapy, right? Hey, it's something they need on a daily basis. For others, it's something that escapes our daily problems and the grind we have to go through for 2 to 3 hours. it's completely arbitrary, right? And now it's been politicized, and that's what drives me. That's what's bothersome. And some people just love it. Some people just love the fandom of it and so forth. So um, the A's situation with regard to what's happening off the field, it drives me nuts. Is because, like I said, sports was designed to bring people together, and it has been a divider for the A's this year. And what has been the divider has been the media. They have stirred up everybody. And yeah. And like I said, people need sports. And for other individuals and former Oakland fans to be criticizing those that still follow the team and calling them this and calling them that's a joke, man. It's a joke. Yeah. We had a quarter century to figure it out. We had a quarter century to figure all this crap out. But for most of the quarter century, everybody in Oakland, the fans, the government, everybody was up Al Davis's ass. Mr. Davis, what can we do for you now? What can we do for you there? And they were up Al Davis's ass. And the A's were a third fiddle to the Raiders and Warriors. And now there's an outcry. Stop. They had 25 years to figure that out. And they did it to Al. They were up Al Davis's ass, who left them one time for LA. And then all of Oakland was on hands and knees. Please come back. Please come back. Please come back. Give me a break. They had a quarter century to figure that out. It goes deeper than just that year. But I hear you. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. They fixed the Coliseum. And Lacob, they treat Lacob like he's the Messiah. Come save us. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, you could have whatever opinion you want on it. Is fine with me. But once you get to the position, and if you don't want to support the A's or whatever it may be, I get it. But once you're trying to divide people and not telling them to follow sports or follow this because the owner is horrible, because they don't spend money, that's where I kind of draw the line. It's kind of crap. That's kind of crap, man. And we all need to get a little bit better, including the announcers, man. I know I've touched on this a few times on this little rant, but they really pissed me off today. I was just not what they say or the timing of what they said. It's just the organization, especially in this time, has been looked at as a joke. And then you have your head announcers at an 8-1 blowout game, laughing and cracking jokes, like we're in grade school. We need this organization to be taken seriously. Address the problems. Be critical. And if you want to get in the jokes and so forth in the eighth inning when it's 14-1 or whatever it may be, go for it. But first, address the issues with the team. Don't let it slide by. And I know Dallas Braden's more on the side of with Oakland and how the owner screwed him over and so forth. And that's fine. I have no issue with that. But have a little bit more of a serious tone. Anyway, guys, that's all I got, man. I appreciate you guys letting me rant. And I appreciate you guys coming by. We'll see what happens. Yeah, that's another thing, Two things I want to comment before I go here. Everyone complains about Commissioner Manfred and the shot he took at the A's. Excuse me, at the A's fans. Like, hey, you still have two markets in there, in two teams in that market. Excuse me, you still have one team. Go root for the Giants. And Manfred has been slight towards the fans. He's been, almost outright rude. But let me ask you a question. let me ask you all a question who's watching this. If you were in a situation, because you got to remember from 2016 to 2021, Commissioner Manfred was on the side of Oakland. Publicly came out and scrutinized and criticized John Fisher. 2016 to 2021. He was fresh air compared to Commissioner Seelig. He wanted the A's to stay in Oakland. He had daily conversations, maybe not daily, I'm paraphrasing, consistent conversations with Mayor Livy Schaaf. And how's the Oakland fans repay him? By MFing him every moment they get from 2021 and so forth, when he decided to take a parallel pass because Oakland wasn't getting anything done? How would you guys react if you supported a group of people for a certain period of time in order to try to get something done, and that same group of people, after a period of time, starts MFing you? Come on, stop. We need to start putting ourselves in the other person's shoe. So, that's the whole thing with Commissioner Manfred right there. But like I said, I've been ranting long enough. It's been 42 minutes. Like I said, let's keep things in perspective. It's only baseball. It's over now. It's done. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I'll see you next time.